The first card you have is your current position coming into the month, and you have the Chariot. Okay, so the Chariot, if you're single, is saying that you are mixed. I'm guessing between two people. It could be three people. You may not have met them yet, right? Because this is throughout November, so it doesn't mean it's going to happen right this second. It also could mean that you've been dating them for a month or two and you're not quite sure, or you've recently met a few people, because the Chariot is all about finding a duality and also a balance. Now, this could be a duality between work, you know, if you're single and you're maybe a single parent, this is about you figuring out how to balance work, love, dating, you know, obviously family comes first, you know, pets, etc. And so this coming up, this is also Cancer, Aquarius. So this could mean that you met a Cancer, you're going to meet a Cancer, you met a few Cancers. It could even be a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, but this is Cancer's card right here. So that may be somebody you've dealt with or are dealing with. But this says, hey, that you're coming into this month, like, you know what you want, you believe that you're going to find it and get it, right, because of the Hierophant. But you're also understanding that you have to learn to balance everything. The duality in the Chariot says that, look, you're looking for somebody who's on the same path with you, right? Because the Chariot only moves if both of you are moving in the same direction, right? If you're looking to settle down and have a family, then you're probably not going to pick somebody up who is looking to just screw around and have a friend with benefit type relationship, right? So the Chariot is actually a very good card, because this says you're on one path and you're hoping that you're going to meet people on the same path. And some of you may have already met potential people on the same path. You're just trying to figure out yourself too. You're being very self-aware. You're trying to have self-control over what is important to you, what is good for you, what's healthy for you, but also indulging in, you know, having fun and having a romance. So definitely a good position to be in coming into the month. If you're looking to reconcile, the Chariot says that you seek some sort of balance. I don't know that you're in contact with that person. Something tells me that some of you are in contact with that person. If you're not in consistent contact with them, you're somehow, maybe you're messaging occasionally or you're just checking up on each other. But this says, look, you either need to find a balance to where you both are heading in the same direction. If you're not going in the same direction, if you want kids and they don't, if you want to get married and they don't, or vice versa, if you don't want kids, you're not ready and they do, the Chariot stops. It doesn't go anywhere, because you both have to be heading in the same direction for the Chariot to move. This is also about figuring out who you are. So some of you may be going, maybe it's been a relationship for a long time and you're just not sure that you know yourself, or you know what you want. Maybe you thought you knew what you wanted and you're just not completely sure. It's also about duality. So it's about being together, but also being able to be your own person, if that makes sense. So this card very much, if you're looking to reconcile, says, look, you know, you are still a person who likes your own things and wants to do your own things and has interest in things that you want to accomplish. And maybe that's what this is coming down to, that you feel kind of like you're not able to be that person in this relationship. And you're just trying to figure out exactly what's going to fit for you. The next card you have is anything internal throughout the month of November. And you have the King of Swords. And again, this is internal, so this is any feelings coming into the month of November. Now, the King of Swords talks about truth, it talks about fairness. So if you're dating, or if you're looking for somebody and you're single, this is saying that you want the justness. I mean, because literally this is a just card. So this, and it's also about, you know, marriage and kids as well. So that tells me that some of you really do want that potential partner for life, and you feel very strongly about it. And this is saying, but you're also understanding that you need to be open and honest about you, about what you stand for, about what's important to you. And you're looking for somebody. That is where kind of the Hierophant comes in too, because this is saying, there's no secrets with me anymore. And not that Aquarius tells secrets at all, but what I'm saying is we all try and show our better self up front, right? And anybody who says they don't is, you know, I'm sure there's some people out there who are going to say that's not true, but but it's true. You look your best when you're going on a first date. You are impressing people. This is you saying, yeah, I'm still going to make the effort, but I'm laying it all on the table. Like, I'm not scared, because eventually, like, they're going to have to see my good and my bad, and they're going to have to accept me for that. So you really just want somebody who's going to be a good fit for you. If you're looking to reconcile, this tells me that there's something you're unclear on. Somebody lied to you, somebody cheated on you, somebody lied about money, somebody lied about substance abuse. There's some sort of truth that you're seeking. You're trying to find out, and it's also about a fairness. So it's almost like, you know that you weren't perfect in certain things in the relationship, but this is like, some of you may have been blindsided. And if you weren't blindsided, it's kind of like you knew something was going on. You knew something wasn't right. You asked about it. You asked about it. You asked about it. They lied about it. And now you're like, until I know the truth, until I get to the bottom of what's going on, I'm not interested in what you have to say. The next card you have is your distant past, over the past few years. Could be 10 years, could be your childhood. And you have the Queen of Cups. I'm sorry. And the Queen of Cups is very interesting, because that's a water sign and you have Cancer here. But the Queen of Cups for your past relationships is about mystery. It's about spirituality. So you have the spirituality card of the Queen and the spirituality card of the Hierophant, somebody who's wise and teaching. And the Queen of Cups says that some of you either, it's interesting, I've had religion pop up a couple times for a few signs in the past card. And the Queen of Cups tells me that some of you are of a faith that maybe you were supposed to, you know, meet people of that same faith. Or maybe you had really strong beliefs. Maybe you came from a very strong, like, Catholic family, right? So did I. And it got less and less Catholic as I got older. And for some of you, it may be the same thing, or maybe different in the fact that, like, maybe your grandparents were really religious. Your parents were really religious. Maybe you went to religious schools. Maybe you went on a mission. Maybe there's all sorts of things that could play here. But for some of you, I'm kind of finding like either you got away from that because it wasn't working for you, and maybe the people that you were falling in love with weren't in that faith, and you realized that you could love people outside of that faith. Or it could be the opposite, that maybe you're finding, because the Hierophant's coming up, that you need to return to those beliefs. Now, it doesn't even have to be religion. It could just be believing in the faith of a relationship or other people. Some of you seem like broken almost. The Queen is saying, you know, here, have a drink, you know, heal yourself. Here's some water. I know that sounds strange, but it's kind of like some of you have had some broken past relationships, or, you know, where you question your own faith. You question your own faith in God. You question your own faith in the divine, or whoever you believe in, the universe. I mean, it doesn't matter. You could be Buddhist, you could be Jewish, you could be Catholic. This is saying, or whatever religion you are, this is saying that some of you were broken, and maybe just your faith in your own spirituality, which doesn't have to rely on anything other than what you believe in your heart. So somewhere here, some of you were brokenhearted because you lost some sort of faith. You lost some sort of hope, whether you're single or reconciling. Looking to reconcile, I always read this card together, because that says, you know, generally this is long time ago. It's not the person, if you're looking to reconcile, that you're looking at now, although it can be. I always bring the past up because it's something to either remind you of a path not to take, but you want to remember the good from the bad, right? So you don't want to go back to past behaviors that were unhealthy for a relationship, but you want to remember the good times, savor those, and figure out how to achieve those again. But the Queen is definitely saying, look, you know, at some point there was some sort of mystery going on with a significant other, maybe like an ex. There was something you were held in the dark from for a long time. Maybe your parents separated and you never really knew why, or maybe you never knew your mother or never knew your father. There's definitely a mystery in the Queen. And maybe that's why you've had bad relationships, because you didn't have the other parent present, or you thought that was a part of it. There's lots, all of a sudden my head is like jumbled, because there's all these things coming in, like, you know, a person who didn't know a parent, and they always vowed they wouldn't you know, put their kids through what they went through. And then there's also other people who are like in their deepest, darkest days of like losing all faith and now finding it again, but still feeling like, you know, like you're feeling like you need to regain that faith in other people and belief in love in order to continue. I know that was just kind of conjumbled, but there's all these things that jumped out at me. Basically what it's saying is focus on the here and now and believe in yourself, have the hope, have the inspiration, because love is love. And if it wasn't beautiful at times, we wouldn't want it. And if it didn't make us better at times, we wouldn't strive to find it. The next card you have is your immediate past, over the past few weeks, past month or so, and you have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is all about power and logic. So if you're single, you are like coming up as this person who's going, you know, I kind of have the power to date who I want. If I want marriage, if I want kids, those are the people I'm going to seek out. And I have the power to now choose. Like you're deciding to read the red flags and understand how things work and understand that not everybody's going to be for you. And it takes a lot of time and you have to kiss a lot of frogs to get there. It's almost like you see clarity in dating and you haven't seen clarity in dating in a long time. However, like I said, for some of you, I think that you have met one or two people, maybe even three people that you think could be potential suitors that might be very good for you. And that right here, like I said, is this duality or self-control of trying to figure out what you want and not jumping the gun and rush into it and just, you know, you're following your head instead of your heart. And not that you don't, because Aquarius are very smart. They're very dual in that, being able to have the emotion and have the smarts and wits about them as well. But the Ace is saying, look, you know, you have that clarity. You know what you want. And you know when people are being genuine with you. This month, you're extremely intuitive. So, you know, work off of that. Because that's going to be very important coming up. Very important. It's also very interesting that you have major arcana, and then you have suits so far. That's interesting. If you're looking to reconcile, this is you saying, okay, I have the power. So this is telling me that somehow you are in control of whether you get back together with them. Now, you may be waiting for them to contact you, but you still have the power in whether you want to get together with them. So I think some of you were lied to, cheated on. I mean, I think not basic, but it is. It's sad. It's basic relationship stuff that terminates relationships or causes rifts in relationships. And this Ace is saying, first of all, you have the power to determine whether you get back together with that person or not. Even if you're waiting for them to contact you and it takes 2 months for them to contact you, or you think they never will, somehow they will be contacting you, but you're going to decide whether or not you want to be with them. You also have the clarity this month too. But you're still looking for this truth, but you have the clarity that you're right. Something wasn't being presented to you truthfully. So I think some of you doubted, like, well, maybe I'm being paranoid. But no, this card is saying whatever you were worried about, you were being logical about, and, you know, you don't want to be played a fool. And I think that's what this person is doing. And you know it because they fed you this line of BS before. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months through the end of the year, and you have the Queen of Wands. Again, you have all these higher suit cards. The Queen of Wands, which, by the way, you know, this is you showing up here in your distant future. So the Queen of Wands is somebody who is creative. I love the Queen of Wands because this is somebody who's, you know, they've got ferocity, they're confident, they're passionate, they're enthusiastic about life, they're lustful, this is an energy that, you know, sometimes takes a lot of, like, you almost have to force yourself to feel this energetic, and you're not going to have to force it. It's just going to come. Plus, it's fire, the Queen of Wands, which is amazing. And the reason that I say you're coming up for yourself, even though technically, if you think about it, this card is coming up for you. But the Queen of Wands, I've always felt, you know, represents all signs, because at one point or another, we all feel that ferocity, that confidence, where it's just overbearing. It's like bursting out of you. So I'm feeling like this is you coming out of your shell. If you're single, this is you saying, hey, I'm here. I'm available. I mean, come on, world. I'm like ready to date. I'm ready to, make things happen. I'm excited. I'm on fire. And I think that this is you. If you have met a few people, like I said, with the beginning, like with the Chariot, the Queen is saying, come get me, baby. Like, I'm here. But you're going to wait and see what they do, if that makes sense. You're going to wait and see, like, how they present themselves. You're going to wait and see how much effort they put into it. I feel like some of you have not had people who've genuinely put effort into you, or they're always looking for the grass is always greener. And you're kind of tired of it. So you're going to show up the next few months going, hey, I'm right here and I'm a great person. I'm a great human. I would be an amazing catch, but you're going to have to do some work to catch me, because I'm tired of either being the one who always has to facilitate, or being the one who's like, oh, he or she said hello, or they text me extra today, I'm smitten. No, you're like, no, it's going to take some impressing upon before I just, jump into your arms and say, hey, I'm yours. If you're looking to reconcile, the Queen also says that while you may be waiting to see what truths lie behind whatever has been, kept from you, or anything you feel like the wool's been kind of pulled over your, over your eyes, so to speak, the Queen is saying that you're going to be feeling this, just, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I'm an amazing person, and somebody's going to think I'm pretty amazing, and you can just watch and learn, because I feel like you're going to be flirting or tempting with, tempting a little bit, not tempting people. That's, I don't know, maybe just seeing what type of charm you have. It's kind of like you're going to like dust off the old going out clothes or having fun clothes, or, you're going to go to an old watering hole, or you're going to go to an old spot, or you're going to call up people that, maybe have kids or married or whatever, but you're going to get like the gang back together for a night or two, a month or something, just to kind of kick up some dirt and have some fun. I feel like you need to break out. You need to have this wild side, because your cards here that represent Aquarius, they're pretty strict, strong, looking for clarity, looking for, logic. They're all about being powerful. And you're kind of like, that's great, but I want to kind of enjoy some sexy time too, because it's been a while and you deserve it. And maybe it's time to, impress that upon yourself, that it's okay to feel good about yourself and not dwell on somebody who can't get their act together. The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks and throughout November, and you have the Knight of Cups. And seriously, what is going on? These are all, court cards here. All right. So the Knight of Cups is somebody that is dreaming and fanciful. So if you're single, this is you over the next few weeks going, I want the romance. I want to feel good about it. You're coming in watching for being, like I said, self-controlling, not self-controlling, being in control, self-control as far as not getting too whimsical, not getting too fancy free, but somebody is going to kick that into overdrive to where they're going to bring out the sexy side of you, but you're also going to be with the Knight throughout November dreaming about, like, what would it be like spending a lot more time with this person? You may, again, be dating a few people now, and that may resonate with, hey, there's one or two people that I really could see myself with. And so you're going to be thinking about them, and you're going to be doing that kind of daydreaming, the far-sighted, what if, where could we go? And if it's not somebody that you've met, it's going to be somebody you've met, because see, he's offering a cup or like a cheers, a toast, like, hey, let's do this. And so somewhere here, somebody's coming in, and they're just going to make you feel real dreamy, real romantic. They're kind of going to either knock your socks off, or it's going to be a conjoined effort. They're going to put in the effort, and then you're going to return it by being like, hey, baby. And not just in a physical way, but in a very empowered way. They're going to open up a confidence and instill in you that you're worth it and that you're important enough to find somebody really good. So they may start off like this, romance and making you feel kind of whimsical, and you're going to end it by returning the favor and being like, you know what? I kind of like you too, and you make me feel good, and I think you're a good fit for me. If you're looking to reconcile, this says, the Knight definitely says that you're being fanciful and romantic as well. You're feeling those feelings, but I gotta tell you, Aquarius, I don't know if you're feeling those feelings for your ex. I kind of feel like you're feeling those feelings in hopes that you're going to be able to be this charming person who presents himself to maybe have some fun. This Knight is saying, look, you're not going to be sitting here doing everything by yourself. You're going to meet somebody to, cheers that glass with, metaphorically speaking, and enjoy yourself. It's not that anything's striking me as like you're not going to ever be able to reconcile, but there's definitely these cards saying, look, they lied, they cheated, they lost your trust, and maybe they'll gain it back, and maybe that is still your focus, but you're going to have some fun. You're still going to be dreaming about what could be. And maybe you're dreaming about what could be with the person that you want to reconcile with. Or maybe you're dreaming about what could be with somebody new. But this is definitely you being able to feel romantic. Now, it could be completely opposite and you guys decide to reconcile, or at least you decide to make contact and you're feeling romantic about it. But this Queen right here, if you're looking to reconcile, is telling me that's you on fire, but not on fire because you're reconciling. So somebody else may come into the picture, or you just may be having fun flirting and getting to know other people. The next card you have is anything external. So anything you need to do or anything that should be a focus throughout the month of November. And it could be in the beginning, the middle, the end. It could be for one day or the entire month. Now this is the Four of Swords, and this is you as well. Because, you're an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. No, oh my gosh, I totally just spaced that. I'm sorry, I'm flipping signs because I'm thinking of, anyways, yeah, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I don't know why I just did that. So usually I go in order, but I went backwards and it threw me off. All right, so the Four of Swords is saying that you need rest and relaxation. This is saying, Aquarius, have some fun, enjoy yourself, right? Have a good time, but you need some rest and relaxation. This is exhaustion. So you're going to be dating. You're going to be having fun. You may be meeting people who bring you out of your comfort zone. You may be, again, feeling dreamy, romantic. Maybe they're kind of, taking you for a ride on this chariot. Like, hey, we could do some fun things together. We could have an adventure. We're very similar. We're looking for the same things. But in the meantime, rest. Like if the dating's if there's a lot, maybe you're dating one or two people, or maybe if there's a lot going on, if you're doing online dating or meetup groups and you haven't met the one or two people to focus your energy on, this is saying, don't overdo it. Don't overwhelm yourself and don't overthink it. It's saying, take the time to relax. Think about things clearly. Don't get too caught up. Again, the Chariot, when you come into November, means that you're balancing things and you're trying to figure things out. And this is saying you're balancing work, you're balancing kids, you're doing all of that. So definitely don't allow yourself to get too overwhelmed or too exhausted, or you're just not going to have, as an amazing of a time dating this person and getting to know them to feel like this. You won't feel like this if you wear yourself out. That's basically what this is saying. Take time to keep that balance in check. Don't overdate, don't overwork, have fun, be reasonable about it, and don't let things get carried away because you don't want to overexhaust yourself. And because once you do that, you're just not yourself, and then you're not